You may be wondering, on the west side of Denver, Golden or Littleton? Both amazing suburbs, both have a ton to offer, but which one is the best? Well, today I'm gonna be sharing with you guys my personal opinion as a Colorado and Denver native. Really excited for you guys to learn a little bit more about both of these because they are both awesome parts of Denver. Let's go ahead and get started on a brand new episode of Living in Denver. All right, guys, so as I said, today's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be a little different. We're gonna be comparing two of my personal favorite neighborhoods on the western side of Denver, Littleton, as well as Golden. But before we get started, you probably already know me, but if you don't, my name is Adam Lang, licensed realtor here in Denver, Colorado. Love making videos just like this one you're about to watch. All that info down below. Feel free to reach out. Love to connect with you guys. Put out new episodes every single week. So also make sure you guys hit that like and that subscribe button. But enough about that. I want to just jump right in. Let's talk first about where these two places are located. All right, so right off the bat, let's just jump to a Google map view so you guys can see where both of these are located. As you notice, Golden is a little bit to the north of Littleton and in a really prime location for anybody that likes getting up to the mountains or just up to the foothills after a long day of work. It's also a great location if you want to go to Boulder and not have to worry about getting on any busy highways. Highway 93 is a great kind of a local secret to get up to Boulder from Golden. Now, Littleton, on the other hand, is a little bit further to the south, and Littleton is also right up against the foothills, but again, on the more southwestern side of Denver. Littleton is actually where I currently live, so I have a lot to share with you about Littleton, but I actually spent the majority of my childhood growing up in Wheat Ridge and in Applewood, which is basically right where Golden also is on that western side of town. So now that you guys know where both of these are located, what I'm gonna talk through today is actually three comparisons. Number one, we're gonna talk about price tag and inventory. Number two, we're gonna talk about the outdoor lifestyle, just how these two stack up against each other. And then number three, we're gonna talk about walkability. And more specifically, I really wanna share with you guys the differences with each of these two neighborhoods with the downtown district that they each have. Two of my favorite downtown areas, not downtown Denver, but downtown Littleton and also downtown Golden. I just love these two, and I think this is really gonna be a tough matchup. So I'm excited to share that one with you guys at the end of the video. But let's just jump right into number one. So number one, again, is all about price tag and inventory. So starting with Littleton, the median sale price in 2025 was $617,000. It was actually a little bit higher than this in a few different neighborhoods in Littleton, such as Sterling Ranch and also Grant Ranch. But again, the overall median sale price, $617,000. Now with Littleton, it also has a lot larger of a housing inventory, and that's just due to its size. It's a lot larger area of land. And there's also a little bit of variation too with just the style of homes. Down in Littleton, you have more to choose from, lots of different choices. Everything from mid-century modern to historic to townhomes to new construction. With Littleton, you really do have it all. You have your choice of pretty much every style of home. I'd also say that with Littleton, there's more opportunities for single family homes. That price point's gonna be in that $600,000 to $700,000 mark. And that's usually for a 3 to 4 bedroom with a decent lot size. Now there are still a few areas that are a little bit more affordable as far as price point when comparing it with other parts of Littleton. I would definitely recommend checking out a few of the areas that are a little bit on the northwestern side of Littleton that butt up against Lakewood. But now I want to compare that with Golden. So Golden, the median sale price for 2025 was a little bit higher. It was actually $765,000. And it can actually jump up to well over $1 million if you factor in some real specific neighborhoods. One of my personal favorites is an area called Applewood. There's a whole separate video I did just on Applewood, so if you're curious about that, make sure you guys check that one out after you finish this video. Now, because Golden is a smaller footprint, there's not going to be as much inventory available typically, and that's especially the case if you're looking for homes under that $650,000 to $700,000 mark. There's also a lot less opportunity to find new construction or new build communities in Golden, so if that's something that's really important to you, I would definitely say that Littleton might be a better bet. Now, the one exception to that would be if you're custom building a home from scratch, you'll definitely still have a lot of those in Golden, but those are going to be well above the $1 million mark in most cases. You know, a lot of that I think comes down to just with Golden being right up against the foothills, you're paying that foothill premium, meaning you're just paying that extra dollar amount just for that location. All right, so to summarize this first point on price tag and inventory, I gotta say, Littleton, I think, offers more variety and probably a little bit more bang for your buck. But Golden, it definitely has the name, the prestige of being in Golden, and maybe a little bit more of that mountain charm. But that is definitely gonna come with a price tag. All right, so now let's just jump right into number 2, which is gonna be outdoor lifestyle, comparing Littleton and Golden for the outdoor lifestyle it provides. So this time I wanna start with Golden. So Golden, what I love is it has so much direct access to trails. You've got North Table Mountain, South Table Mountain, and one of the other local favorites, Lookout Mountain. Some incredible views of Denver, and all of this is only about a 10-minute drive at most from most places that you're gonna be living if you are in Golden. Another fun one is going tubing in the summer down Clear Creek. It just runs right through downtown Golden. You'll see a ton of people there on the weekends in the summer months. And maybe if that's not your thing, a lot of rock climbing, hiking, mountain biking, really every outdoor activity you can think of, there's a lot of opportunity to do this directly in Golden. And as I said earlier, the location being so close to I-70 and having this direct access to get up to the ski hills and just up to the mountain towns in the summertime make this a no-brainer for me. So anybody that likes to get up to the mountains on a frequent basis, you save so much time when you do live on the western side of town, like in Golden. You know, a lot of locals kind of joke about how when you live in Golden, you kind of live there for the lifestyle. Meaning that on a lunch break, instead of just going down to a restaurant to grab lunch with a friend, you might take that hour and go for a quick mountain bike ride, or maybe just go hang out down by the Clear Creek River. There's just a lot more outdoor activities and opportunity just to be outside more when you live in a place like Golden. All right, now let's talk about Littleton. So Littleton also has a ton of outdoor spaces and parks right at your fingertips. A few of my favorites would be Chatfield, as well as real easy access to Bear Creek Lake Park. And one other one that I also enjoy is the South Platte River Trail. You know, Littleton boasts they actually have over 1,400 acres of open space, and I've heard they have over 200 miles of trails, all, again, right out your back door if you live in the Littleton area. As far as outdoor activities go, you might not have quite as much as you would in Golden, but you definitely have a great opportunity to do a lot of cycling, running, and just going more along these park trails as opposed to hiking up into the mountains, which you would probably do if you were in the Golden area. But there's still a ton of that too. You just have to drive for maybe another 5 or 10 minutes to get a little bit further west. Some great trails also here in that Littleton area. All right, so to summarize this second point on outdoor lifestyle and which of the two are better, in my humble opinion, even though I live in Littleton, I'm gonna give this one to Golden. And that's because there's just a lot more options. As opposed to just walking or running or maybe taking your dog out on these open space trails in Littleton, with Golden, you just have a lot more different things that you might be able to do. Again, mountain biking, rock climbing, and this is everything from very beginner type stuff all the way up to very expert, advanced outdoor activities. So you really have it all when you live in Golden. All right, and then let's go right into number 3, the third and final comparison that I want to share with you on Golden versus Littleton. This one is going to be walkability, and as I teased at the beginning of the video, more specifically, the downtown areas that each of these provide. These are my 2 favorite downtowns in Denver, as well as really all of Colorado, and that's because they each have so much character and they're very unique from one another. So on this point, let's talk first about Golden. So downtown Golden is getting better and better by the year. My parents actually lived for a short period of time after I graduated college in an apartment condo right in downtown Golden, where they would literally walk downstairs and be on Main Street. And that was a really fun time for me to come visit them because, you know, instead of just getting in the car and driving to go somewhere for dinner, you had all this cool stuff just really within a couple blocks. And it was just a fun time to be living in a downtown, more urban style environment, but still right up against the mountains. So Golden is just such a unique downtown. And a lot of it comes down to just having the massive Coors Brewery, which is only a couple blocks from the downtown area. They're also really becoming a little bit more, I'd say, not edgy, but just kind of getting to starting to cater more to the younger demographics by having a lot of these beer gardens and different types of food truck outdoor spaces where you can bring your dogs and just have a social life with your animals if you want to. But even if not that part, just being able to hang out outside and just enjoy all of the great views you have pretty much 360 degrees from a lot of these different restaurants, bars, and beer and food gardens that I've been mentioning. I also love how with downtown Golden, you have Clear Creek, which just goes right through town. There's that great tubing in the summer, but also just year round, lots of activity, lots of people just enjoying being down there by the water. Lots of very well-maintained sidewalks, park benches, tables and chairs to hang out. They've just done a really good job to make this space as inviting as possible, really 12 months out of the year. Golden's pretty easy to park and just get to if you don't live there, but you just want to visit the downtown Golden area. But I will say it does get a bit packed. So if you need, maybe handicap accessible parking, or you just want to find a place where you can park and not have to walk too far, sometimes with downtown Golden, this can get a little bit tricky. I'd say the only downside to the downtown Golden area is it can get pretty pricey. Any of the homes that are really, really close to downtown are quite expensive, and it's pretty limited when it comes to nightlife. Most restaurants and bars, with the exception of maybe one or two, are pretty much going to be closed down by the 10 o'clock hour. All right, so then now let's also talk about downtown Littleton, which is where I currently am very, very close to, and I spend a lot of my time now in downtown Littleton. And this is also a really cool, unique, just different part of Denver that you can't really find in really anywhere else in town, in my opinion. And that's for a few reasons, but one, it just has a very local feel to it. Lots of locally owned and operated businesses, lots of mom and pop type shops, as well as restaurants. And it's just in this area that has a great view of the mountains, as well as it's just very convenient. It really blends a lot of the old type stuff as well as new when it comes to restaurants and just different types of art galleries, all that good stuff. And it's a bit smaller than downtown Golden, so I would say it's a bit quieter, especially when it comes to like on a Saturday or Sunday. Weekends in downtown Golden can be pretty crazy. Downtown Littleton, yes, it definitely still gets busy, but not nearly as bad as Golden. And with downtown Littleton, there's a few more spots to find places to park, as well as some very large parking lots that are available not only to go to downtown Littleton, but also great options for jumping on the light rail, our public transit system, and taking that straight north into downtown Denver. I'd say downtown Littleton does feel a little bit more of a neighborhood type feel than Golden. Golden might feel a little bit more touristy. And if price point is a consideration, I do think you'll find more options that are close to downtown Littleton than you would in downtown Golden. But I will kind of preface that though with saying that, both do have quite expensive real estate when you're looking very, very close to the downtown areas with that incredible walkability. So comparing these two, I'd say Golden's a little bit more of an iconic downtown, where Littleton is just a little bit more livable. I'd say it has a little bit more charm and isn't quite as expensive. So to wrap it up, which of these two is the champion? Man, I'll tell you what, out of any two neighborhoods I could pick in Denver, these two are really neck and neck, but I'm gonna edge this one out and give it to Golden. Don't tell my neighbors because I live in Littleton, but I gotta say, Golden just is such a unique and incredible downtown, as well as just the surrounding area. I love how the accessibility it has, not only to get up to Boulder, but also just to very easily get out west and get up to the mountains. You can literally save yourself at least 30 minutes, if not close to an hour, compared to other parts of Denver out east, like maybe Aurora, or even up north in Thornton or Brighton areas, where you're gonna take that much longer to get up to the mountains as you would living in the Golden area. So I just think Golden has it all. The one exception to that is it is quite expensive, and inventory, if you're looking to buy a home, is fairly limited. But I just still think it's worth checking out. And even if you're just considering coming out to Denver just to, feel it out and check out a few different areas, and maybe price point is still a consideration, you're a little bit worried about the pricing that I've talked about today, I'd say still give it a chance because you might be able to find something. And I'd love to help you if that is the case. So with all that being said, I'm edging this one out to Golden, but both are incredible neighborhoods and both areas that I would, without a doubt, spend a lot of my time living in as well. Hope you guys got some value out of this one today. I know it was quick. One, just kind of hit this one fast and just really give you guys as much value as possible in the shortest amount of time. But before we leave today, one quick reminder, all that info down below. Again, I would love to reach out and just connect, whether it's something you're seriously considering moving out here to Colorado, or you just want some tips, some advice. I would love to help you with that too. I just want to connect and make a new friend out of this. So hopefully you'll do that and take me up on my offer. And don't forget, I have a brand new Locals Guide to Denver, over 20 different neighborhoods that I feature, just like these two, Golden and Littleton. And it's a great resource for you to check out if you are wanting to learn a little bit more about some of my favorite Denver neighborhoods, again, coming from a 40+ year local. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'm really excited to share a brand new episode next week with you of Living in Denver. Until then, I'll see you guys later. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.